Abandoned food sources, majorly delayed updates to biomes, and scrapped mobs. Welcome to the world of Minecraft updates. Hello again, my fellow gamers. It is me, Amanda. What cancelled features, updates, tools, mobs, or items would you like to see added into Minecraft in the next update? Number 10, Birch Forest update. One that fans assumed was happening only to find out later it kinda never was the update to Birch Forest biomes. As a part of the 1.19 Wild update. Fans believed, based on concept art shown during the live which revealed suggested enhancements and changes to Birch Forests, that this area would be getting an update. However, this was later revealed to only be, just as it appeared, a concept. Hence, concept art. This was never a promise to players, but more an idea Mojang had initially had that ultimately ended up getting scrapped in the end. And friends, before we move on to our next spot on this list, if you love what we do here and you want to see more Minecraft videos from us, be sure to let us know by hitting that subscribe button. Number 9, runner-up biomes. Something that Mojang may have counted on us forgetting about was that although the biome vote of 2018 allowed us to choose which biome was most wanted to see get an update first, unlike the mob vote, the other biomes were also supposed to get an update. But simply their updates would not be prioritized and of course would happen later. In the case of the 2018 biome vote, this would be the desert and savanna, which did not win, with taiga beating them. The really weird thing here, however, is that while mountains won the 2019 vote, one of the losing biomes from that year's vote, the swamp, saw its update implemented before either of the 2018 losing biomes got theirs. Super weird. The swamp was updated in late 2020, the savanna was finally updated in 2021, but we're actually still waiting on the desert update, which I guess is slated for 2023. And of course there's still no date announced for when we can expect the update to the Badlands. Yeesh. Number 8, Crystallized honey. This was actually an item that was added to the game in the 1.15 update of the game known as the Buzzy Bees update. It was added in 2019 in the week 34 snapshot, but was removed by week 42. It never had a use, and fans have simply been left to speculate that it may have been, I don't know, some kind of food source. We'll likely never really know what it was intended to be used for, however, as the bees and various other bee-related items have remained, but crystallized honey was not one of them. That one, it's out. So it seems whatever plans Mojang had for this version of honey was just scrapped entirely, whatever it was supposed to be for. Number 7, bundles. Bundles actually seemed like they could have been a super useful tool and item that was promised as part of the 1.17 Caves and Cliffs update. But we also all know how that update went. It had to be split up into 2 parts, and between those 2 parts, a lot of stuff seemed to fall through the cracks. Pardon my cave humor. In this case, one such thing seems to have been bundles. Bundles were interesting, but also seemed a little fiddly in terms of exactly how they were supposed to work and what items would be best to utilize in your bundle. Apparently they ended up being scrapped because developers had difficulty with the hover element of the bundle, where hovering your mouse over top of them allowed a player to see what was inside. The UI was not working as well for those who played Minecraft on touch devices, so that was, and presumably continued to be, the struggle with these. Either that or they were just saying that and they were like, we kinda don't want to do bundles anymore, we changed our minds. Number 6, Fletching table. The Fletching table was included in the 1.14 update for Minecraft. This update, known as Village and Pillage, focused mainly on giving players more to do in regards to villages, building them and controlling them, maintaining them. In the case of the Fletching table, it was created to be used primarily for the function of employing fletchers, people to, make your arrows. However, Mojang also stated that the Fletching table would be given a player function later down the line. Well, it's much later down the line now, and with update 1.20 on the horizon in 2023, it seems unlikely at this point that we'll ever see this functionality added into the game. Fans are even wondering if adding player functionality would be relevant anymore going forward if it's used in some way for archery, which is of course what we all assume it would be used for, cause fletchers, cause arrows. We do have tipped arrows in the game at this point, which allows you to modify your arrows and their effects upon striking a target, which means that we may not even need whatever functionality developers had originally intended for this table. I personally think some sort of functionality where maybe arrows could be modified more easily in terms of like range could be interesting, but hey, I don't know. I don't even know if we need it really. It's just unfortunate. Number 5. Colored lights. Something that fans of Minecraft hoped to see with the 1.17 update was colored lights. Colored lights, though, weren't something the players were necessarily promised, but were more something that they assumed they'd be receiving as a theory spun out of the fact that we'd be focusing on the darker environs of caves with this update. And the appearance of candles also was supposed to be in here, as well as new crystals. Some thought the crystals could perhaps actually be the key to colored lights, and that you may be able to use those crystals to craft colored light sources. However, it was later confirmed by the development team that colored lights would not be part of this update. Or, well, what Ulraf specifically said was probably not. In the end, colored lights were not added, but it was hinted that it was something developers were actually wanting to add to gameplay. The issue here being the amount of lag that colored light sources could cause in-game. So we'll probably have to wait some time before devs can figure out a way to include colored light while also finding a way to combat that potential lag that it would cause. They want to do it, but they're like, we don't want you to have to deal with the lag. That's already an issue. Number 4. Combat updates. We haven't seen a combat update since 2020, and while this used to be something that was pretty much consistently worked on and improved upon, it seemed initially like development on combat, while researched and ready to be continuously improved on at the time, was put on hold to focus on the 1.17 update. However, following that, we also then got the 1.18 update, which was the second half of the Caves and Cliffs update, and then of course the 1.19 update, the Wild update, and now we're on the 120 update. And we still haven't really seen any updates to combat. Well, some thought the delay to combat updates could be rectified in the 120 update, which some initially speculated would actually center around combat. It now seems more likely that, like the 1.19 update, the 1.20 update will also focus more on biome improvements, more specifically possibly focusing on the jungles of Minecraft. I mean, I guess you could still throw some combat in there with that, but yeah, nothing seems to be specifically combat focused at this moment in time. Number 3. Archeology. When it comes to archaeology, this was something many fans were actually pretty excited about. Indeed, even I was here for this update. It sounds really cool. It was supposed to come as a part of the Caves and Cliffs update. Archaeology would add random and naturalistic dig sites that worked similar to real world ones and appeared throughout the world for you to uncover and to find. It also added in a brush tool that could be used to gently brush away dirt and debris as you unearth your new find, which is super cool. However, while this was announced in 2020, the following year in 2021, it was actually announced that the archaeology component of the Caves and Cliffs update would be delayed. Flash forward to late 2022. This year is almost done at the time of this recording, and we still have no archaeology system in this game. Will it ever come, or was the brush too slow? Number 2. Dirt slab. This one was actually an assumption that players made in relation to the archaeology system that we were supposed to get in the Caves and Cliffs update. Because we had the brush tool, fans assumed based on the brush animation and warnings from developers that you need to be careful when brushing in your dig site to uncover new finds, that you could actually stop at any time brushing, which would result in a dirt slab. Slabs have been available for lots of other materials in the games for a while, but really only exist as an alternate size option for solid blocks. A slab is basically like half a block. However, it was later revealed that what appeared to be a slab to most was actually not a slab, but was just an animation for the brush tool. So you can't just stop and then take that slab. If you stop brushing, developers confirmed what appeared to be a slab would simply revert back to a block once more, because now you've interrupted the animation. So this wasn't as much an update that was cancelled as one fans thought was coming from a sort of misinterpretation, but it never really was. But to those expecting it, it still feels like a great disappointment, because I think people were really excited for those slabs for materials that are not as solid. Number 1. Fireflies. Fireflies were seemingly cancelled as a result of fans complaining about how the fireflies could poison the frogs in the game, which I think is kind of actually adorable. The firefly mob was meant to be a food source for the frog mob in-game, but after players noticed that frogs could be poisoned by some fireflies, Mojang decided to just drop the fireflies entirely, not wanting to promote the idea of frogs being harmed by fireflies as a result of this addition. Because of this, we are now left with 0 fireflies in-game, and with seemingly no current plan to redesign and incorporate them into a further update for gameplay. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Keep surviving, keep creating, and as always, keep on gaming on. Pew pew!